Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and I apologize for being late. I started my morning late and didn't realize that it was like 5 minutes to one when I just needed to get ready. So I apologize for that. I usually try to be here right on time. Today's topic is centered around A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles has been the spiritual foundation of my life since I was introduced to it in 1995. And I know that at that time, I was really searching for something that my Polish Catholic faith absolutely did not give me. There were too many restrictions and too many thou shalt not and too many of as I aged, too many of you are condemned to hell if you do not believe as I believe. And as I looked around my spiritual landscape, I saw that all of the religions had some version of that, with some exception, obviously. Um, but most of the religions, the formal organized religions in the world, did not allow people from other cultures, people from other religious groups, and in some cases, their own religious group. They didn't even take their own religious group um, or they took them to task by saying, well, if you don't belong to this sect of the Lutheran Church, then you are condemned to hell. So, I mean, it was enough to make you dizzy. So, I absolutely did not feel like I had any kind of relationship with my religion anymore. So, I really wanted to share with you some of my thoughts about A Course in Miracles. The course can be summarized by the last three lines in the introduction. I have noticed because I read so many spiritual books, or I used to. I don't anymore. Um, but some authors have actually taken these three lines and have incorporated them into their own writings as if they said it. But the last three lines in the introduction to A Course in Miracles says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Now I'm going to take the word real and I'm going to change it to love. So I'm going to switch the words just a little bit. Love can never be threatened. Only love exists. Nothing unreal exists. Only love exists. Herein lies the peace of God. One of the things that, as you study A Course in Miracles, you recognize that it doesn't have a very high opinion of the ego. The ego is basically what we come into our lives here on earth. And the ego kind of it's almost like it puts a ring in our nose and it leads us around from point to point to point to point in our life. And it gives us a hi Lucia, welcome. And it gives us a point of view that is strictly known as perception. Everything we see from the ego through the ego's eyes is called perception. And everybody's perception is different. No two people, even identical twins, are going to perceive their life the same way. That just doesn't exist. So please know that if you are being led by the ego th- through all your journey here, just know that you've got two emotions on this planet, according to A Course in Miracles. And I truly, absolutely believe this. Everything that I have found has validated this. First is love, and obviously, the introduction to the Course cements that into your psyche. But the second is fear. What doesn't come from love comes from fear. Every single other admonition that is present in our life comes from fear. So, effectively, all ego comments come from fear. It doesn't matter what it is that you're subscribing to out there. If it doesn't come from love, it comes from fear. And the irony is the Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles takes its opinion about the ego one step further. And it's a big step because it basically says the ego is insane. Personally, what I have discovered is yes, you need the ego to get you through to a certain portion in your life, and then you give it up. You do not need it anymore. You do not have to have the ego effectively guiding you the rest of your life. So you can let that phase of your life go. There is one phrase that I want to share with you from A Course in Miracles that virtually changed the direction of my life. That phrase is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? There was a period in my life where, especially in my 20s, 30s, maybe even going into my 40s, that I was determined that my way was the correct way. I've learned since then that my way is a way, it's one way. Everybody is going to perceive through their own eyes and have their own set of values. How else could 75,000 people vote for a person who basically said 6 months prior to the election, if I lose, the election is fraudulent. Not only did he say that over and over and over and over and over, and he's still saying it, the people believed him. I shared with you prior sessions exactly how fast a lie spreads. I'm going to share it again. In one person telling one other person a lie, at the end of 10 days, 1,000 lies. At the end of 20 days, 1,000,000 lies. At the end of 30 days, 1,000,000,000 lies. At the end of 35 days, 35,000,000,000 lies. Now let's just expand that further. Let's just say the first time that was stated, that lie was stated, there were 5,000 people listening. Let's just say the second time there were 20,000 people. Do you see how fast the lie can spread into the trillions and quadrillions? I haven't done the math yet, but I can assure you that people when they hear something over and over and over and over, they will believe a lie as the truth. So you really do have to be super, super careful about what you spread. Are you questioning what is being told to you by a certain slanted point of view? Google it. Everything can be found on the internet. There are, what, 300, probably at this point, 400 million YouTube videos. Anything you want to find how to do is on the internet. Any fact that you want to check is on the internet. Google it. Getting back to, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I know that personally, this saved my sanity. This saved my life. This and this saved my marriage because of the fact that I was so determined to have others follow my way. I just present one point of view. It's my truth. And hopefully others will see it as their truth. And I feel that in the other reason that I feel that A Course in Miracles is so valuable is because of the more than 500,000 words that are in A Course in Miracles. The most words that are in it are actually about forgiving, forgiveness. Over 2,500 words are related to a form of forgiving. And I know when I had my own personal conversation with God, I God told me that there were 3 reasons to come to planet Earth. One of them was to serve your fellow man. This is part of my service. I offer classes in Reiki. I offer classes in Reiki Share. I offer classes in A Course in Miracles. The second reason to come to planet Earth was to learn to love unconditionally. And the third reason was to learn to forgive. So I feel that I'm right in keeping with A Course in Miracles, which, like I said, is my spiritual foundation. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I have determined that I'm going to keep these to 15 minutes. And in the event you wish to go to my website to see what else I offer, because I do spiritual readings as well as spiritual healings, energy healings, as well as contacting your loved ones in spirit. So just know that through my website, Alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com, you can contact me and sign up for anything else that I have to offer. But I so thank you for watching. And in the event that you need a meditation book, Own Your Power Day by Day is by far the best that is on the market. Every single word was guided by spirit. And where I did not change uh, the lesson that came in for the day, that's fully italicized. So I have hope that you have a great week, and I am going to uh, say goodbye right now, and thank you for being here.